Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We're continuing with our Propaganda Pundit series. And I'm doing this because we cannot leave any rock unturned. Because at this point, this cult has chosen to retreat to Twitter and chosen to retreat hiding underneath a rock, which is propaganda, like Saddam Barakatuh. And we can't leave that rock unturned. We have to now turn the rock over and chase them from under there. And the third chapter of our brother Abu Ali, the White Battle's book, Propaganda Pundits, Masquerading the Salafi Dawah. And one of the techniques that they use is called testimonials. And this technique is easy to understand. It is when a big name personalities are used to endorse a person, product, or a group. Whenever you see someone prominent endorsing a particular product, ask yourself how much that person really knows about the person he is endorsing and what he stands to gain by supporting or promoting that person or that person's group. For example, they use movie stars and superstars to sell toothpaste, underwear, shoes, socks, toothpaste. When they make a movie, they put the best of the movie stars, the one who's getting paid, his face is in front. Because to do this, it helps sell the product. So what Salafi Publications did to sell their product, they use the names and the face of scholars who we may know or don't know, but usually they sensationalize the issue. So you will have them use Sheikh Rabi''s face or statement as to sell, to endorse their product. You got to ask yourself, what are they gaining from this? What is it that you can keep pushing the same name of the same scholar? You keep saying that the Sheikh is a complete manhaj, and that whoever disagrees with him is not Salafi, and that you're going to be asked about Sheikh Rabi in your grave. What kind of statements is made by anybody like this, except there has to be an agenda? But either you're crazy or there's an agenda behind it. Either you're out of your mind or there's an agenda behind it. And we got to stop. We got to hold their feet to the fire when they make statements like this. Whoever doesn't love Sheikh Rabia is a deviant. Are you serious? So at the end of the day is that now my Salafiyah is based on a person. And if I don't agree 100% with a particular scholar or a particular group, that means my Salafiyah is in question. We have allowed this to continue. We have allowed this to go on. And that's our fault. We did that. We allowed them to get away with this madness, to where as though now my Salafiyah is based on a person, place, or thing, and it has to end. Some testimonials are general, yet the title suggests something specific. And I'm going to give you two examples. He's going to give you an example, and I'm going to give you another one. If a person does not read the article with a keen eye, one will walk away believing that the title is concurrent with the content. Let us take, for example, our brother Raha Bat articles, may Allah pardon him. The title reads, Sheikh Khalid Uthman ibn the White Battle has no right to misuse the speech of the scholars to accuse Salafis in the West of his biyah, because they make ittiba of the scholars. Here, the questioner exaggerates in the title, utilizing the tabloid journalism tactics his group has become known for, green or yellow journalism. The usage of the colon after the sheikh's name alludes to the succeeding statement being his speech. You understand what I'm saying? It says Sheikh Khalid Uthman, and then they put two colons right there, right? That colon sign. In English, when you're writing English, that means that the statement after that belongs to the one name who's before the colon. And we know this wasn't the Sheikh's statement, but them putting that there gives the reader in your mind that that's the statement of Sheikh Khalid Uthman about to come next, about Ibn the White Battle, that he has no right to misuse the speech of the scholars to accuse the Salafis in the West of his biyah. But that's not the Sheikh's statement. But if you write it like that, the reader takes away that Sheikh Khalid Uthman said that. You see the tabloid tactics? This is what these guys do. And this is how they was able to hijack the dawah. And some of the statements they say scholars said, scholars probably didn't even say it. We have to now go back and look at all their refutations. We have to go back and look at everything we've been said by these individuals. Is it right or not? Is it loaded or not? Because now I can't base my religion on people who I know to be liars. I clearly see they're not truthful in their edib, in their mannerisms, in their speech. And he says the usage, then he says, you will not find this quote anywhere within the actual statement. Furthermore, the questioner states that the Sheikh says that Abu Aliyah could not use his speech against Salafists. He did not say the speech of the scholars, as is stated in the heading. Because they keep their... And when you say the word the scholars, in a person's reading mind, tabloid tactics is that you're talking about all the scholars of Islam. And you may disagree with Sheikh Abdul Bukhari, you may disagree with Sheikh Rabi on something, and they say, oh, he disagreed with the scholars. This is all tabloid tactics. It's all tabloid. Watch CNN and take notes. Watch Fox and take notes. Watch ABC and take notes. You'll see the same tactics being applied. So the Sheikh also states that he does not know Abu Aliyah, right? Yet in the heading, he knows his name. Okay, so you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But the thing is that the people don't know the principles, so what we're trying to do here is point out these tactics. But there's a brother named, I think he's teaching the Sunnah. He's teaching a lot of principles. And the brother Hassan Abdul Rahman teaching a lot of principles. Because the problem is, brother, the principles are never taught. They were mixed in there here and there. They were thrown in there here and there. Bits and pieces of it was thrown in there so it can look like Salafiyah. And that's part of the problem. Part of the problem, it looked like Salafiyah because some of the principles of Salafiyah were there. But the reality was it's been Hizbiyya and had that Diyah the whole time. And that's what it's been the whole time. But now we're just trying to get our people to say, look, these are tabloid tactics. Stop believing them. Stop following these tactics and go learn your deen. But somebody, not everybody, somebody has to point these things out piece by piece. Say, listen, you've been basically bamboozled and tabloid tactics been used on you for the last 20-something years. So they, in the heading, they say that he knows Abu Aliyah. But the Sheikh doesn't even know Abu Aliyah. He didn't know him at the time. So, but they put inside the title that they know him. The questioner and writer blatantly intertwine his sentimental feelings with the speech of the Sheikh in order to sensationalize the subject matter. I'll give you another example. The issue between Sheikh Mahmoud Amr and Sheikh Rabi'. Let me tell you what they did. Now, Sheikh Mahmoud Amr is an Egyptian scholar, one of my teachers in Egypt. He disagreed with Sheikh Rabi' on an issue of the hadith about the worshiper of the money, the worshiper of the khamis, the worshiper of the dinar. And Sheikh Mahmoud's position was that the word worshiper here, he went with the position that it means slave to, not a worshiper of. And that if you say he's a worshiper of it, you can't say it's because you have to say now that he believes money is an ilah and a deity. And it was a whole discussion. It's not the time for it here. But anyway, and the Sheikh wrote a book called Min Ajl al-Tawheed, with his position on what's a Taghut and what's an ilah that differ with some of the ulama of today. And he wrote the book, and he got the book published, and he gave it to the Kibar ulama in Saudi. He gave the Sheikh Rabi', and he gave it around to the different ulama in his country and in Saudi Arabia to take a look at his research. So Sheikh Rabi' responded to the chapter about his statement, and he wrote it. It was what we call an academic reply to Sheikh Mahmoud. He didn't refute him, didn't say don't take from him. He didn't say the Sheikh is off it. Didn't say any of that. But they took the Arabic, which is in Arabic, the Arabic version of the copy. They put it on Salafi Net. And then at the top of the heading, it said, Sheikh Rabi'a refutes Egyptian Sheikh Mahmoud Luthi Amr. That's what they put in English. And the people that they put it on an English website where most people can't read Arabic. So all they seen was the sensationalized title at the top. This is tabloid tactics. This is propaganda. Okay? So No, I agree. But people are getting past them. But somebody has to keep guarding the door. And but you're right. People are getting past. You have the Imam Muslim Center being built. You have the Free Islamic Library of Philadelphia. You have Shadid's programs. You have a lot of things happening all over the country that people are moving on. But the issue is that you have to keep on, every once in a while, you have to keep on mentioning it. You have to keep on bringing these issues up so that people don't go back to sleep on it. Obviously, people are going to differ. But the brothers are just as accurate. The brothers are discussing other issues as well. I'm doing a Tawheed series. We're doing, the brothers doing Shurutu Salat. We're about to do, alhamdulillah, we're about to do a whole thing on social ills. So the night shift is really shifting its focus to more so how do we fix the problem? We know what the problem is, and we expose that problem. So we got to now try to move on to something else. But at the same time, somebody has to keep bringing up the fact that these people are using these techniques and expose them so they're not able to go back to sleep and able to creep back in. Inshallah ta'ala. He says, again, they have been doing this for years. May Allah guide and bestow mercy upon them. Whenever there's one scholar possibly in their favor, they use the testimonial technique, as they say, the scholars. Sheikh Khalid Uthman, Hafizahullah, clearly stated, this man has no right to apply my speech, which is for fanatics, to the Salafists. But where isn't the title? Instead, it was changed from my speech to the speech of the scholars. As the research paper has said, a dozen or more scholars cited as example. So this scandalous trick was employed in order to thrash the example cited in the paper. It is also clear that Sheikh Khalid Uthman, Hafizahullah, does not know the questioner because his speech is conditional. He states, if they are those who are true Salafists. If he knew him, he would have stated that you brothers are known to me for Salafiyah. So what he's saying is that the fact that the Sheikh said, if they are those who are true Salafists, inside the Sheikh's speech, meaning he didn't know the one asking him. But the person made it believe that the Sheikh knew them and was speaking about them. This is all tabloid tactics. We got to be aware of it. Another issue regarding the paper is the fact that I specifically mentioned a Salafi quote. If the descriptions given in his writing are qualities that they do not possess, then why respond? Then why respond to the night shift? Why respond to the quote characteristics? Why respond to propaganda pundits? If it's not you, you were the only ones, even though there's other groups in America that call themselves Salafis and also in Britain, but you were the only ones to respond. Why? Because the characteristics fit you. If the shoe fits, wear it. If the shoe doesn't fit, then change your shoes. If it fits, then change your shoes, basically. So another issue, there are many groups who claim Salafiyya in the West, yet only one group responded. This is the case for two reasons. One, they have made innovators of everyone except themselves. So they are the Salafists. Allah SWT says, فَلَا تَزَكُّوا أَنفُسِكُمْ وَهُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِمَنِ اتَّقَى. He says, do not purify yourselves, and Allah knows who is the one who fears him the most in truth. So the issue is, if you make tabdir, if you say everyone's an innovator but you, obviously you believe you're the only ones who are the Salafis. That's why when they say the Salafis are talking about themselves, because everybody else are innovators but them. So when the papers were written and Abu Aliyah mentioned the Salafis, they took offense to it because they believe they're the only ones who are Salafi. So who else is going to take offense to it? Because they believe that nobody else is Salafi but them. Nobody else on the Sunnah but them. Nobody else has connection with the scholars but them. And this is how the game that they play. If you reflect over the years, the only Salafis are those who are with them. So in essence, they have made allegiance to them a condition of Salafiyya. So what they have done, they have made a condition in Salafiyya. They innovated a condition, saying that your Salafiyya is part of the conditions of you being on the Sunnah is being connected to them. Your Salafiyya, everybody listening, is connected to them. If you're not connected to them, then you're either Salafi and not clear, or you're not Salafi at all. And the problem is that we have allowed this to happen. We have allowed them to build an environment around us to where as though now everybody's Salafi is weighed to their criteria. and not the criteria of Kitab wa Sunnah and the Fahm of the Sahaba. That's the criterion of who's on the Sunnah and who isn't. But we have allowed them to create a criteria, and now we grew up basing our criteria, based someone's Islam based upon the criteria that these guys laid out. It's all propaganda pundits. Same thing they do on CNN. Same thing they do on CNN. What they do on CNN, they tell you what's a terrorist. They tell you who's an extremist. They tell you who's a threat. And they give you criteria for that threat. And then you accept that criteria. The same thing is being done to you here, and it's been done to you for the last 20 years. وَيَحْسَبُونَ كُلَّ سَيْحَةٍ عَلَيْهِمْ. And they feel some form of guilt. That's why they believe that every time they think every cry is against them. As soon as you say something, he's talking about the Salafis. He's talking about us. Because a hypocrite feels as though every time you say something, it's about him. And I'm not calling the brothers hypocrites. I'm just making an example. That the reality is they think everything is against them. As soon as you say something. Oh, he's talking about the noble brothers. Ibn al-Qayyim says, whoever contemplates over each and every misleading article of falsehood and innovation will discover that its author phrases it nicely whilst garbing it with words that will make it acceptable to people who do not know the reality of the issue addressed. So what they do is they speak in ways and in words that the commoner only gets bits and pieces of the information, and he doesn't understand the whole issue in totality. So they use catchphrases in there. Mumayya, Ikhwani. They use catchphrases. He's against the brothers. He's against the scholars. They stole these because these phrases catch your eye. What? He's against the scholars? What? He's Ikhwani? Even though you have no idea what Ikhwani means or is, what's the condition, the criteria of being Ikhwani, but it's a catchphrase. So you can make a whole scenario and just throw catchphrases out there, and then people just catch the catchphrases. That's what happens. The last chapter we're going to go over today is the transfer, honor by association, that a person lives off somebody else's name. Like Abu Hassan Malik does it with Sheikh Mukbil. You live off somebody else's name, even though your reputation is in the trash. Your reputation is in the garbage can, but you use the honor of somebody who is honorable, and you use that with your name. And you live your whole career is based upon that other person's career and that other person's life, and you use this person to pull yourself forward in your own career. And this is called transfer, honor by association. And it says, the Shiite use this force, I am the house of wisdom, and Ali is its door. They use this, the Shiite, to forge report to try and establish Ali superiority to Abu Bakr. So what they did is that they came up with this forged hadith, this lie, to try to establish Ali being over Abu Bakr. Then they will connect themselves to Ali. So they will live through Ali's reputation, and they will become honorable through his reputation. Does that sound familiar? Sheikh Rabi', Sheikh Ubayd, Sheikh Abdullah Bukhari, Sheikh Muhammad ibn Madkhali. This is what they do. This is what they do. The scholar praises us. I know what you mean, brother. Me too. Me too. When I was in Egypt, we didn't hear this stuff. When we got back to the States, this is what we faced with. And the problem, as soon as I got off the plane, get back to Philly, you're tested. Who you with? You're almost forced to take a side. Anybody say you do take one. You take a position. You have to almost. Because you don't agree with the extremism of Hizbiyah or Hadadiyah. So what do? You're going to, by nature, go around people who are like you, who are not on that. And when you do that, all of a sudden now the other side calls you Mumayyad. They calls you Hizbi. Right? Because the problem is that now, by nature, you're going to defend your position. No, I'm not going to speak out against this brother. No, I'm not going to make tabdir of this brother. No, I'm not going to say this about this brother. So that puts you on the firing line. That puts you on the firing line. And in every human being, you're naturally going to stand up for yourself. So they've created this environment, though. The environment has been created before you got there. So you walk into this environment, Malik Muhammad, you're absolutely right. Philly's a different beast. And unfortunately, Philly is the epicenter of this fitna. And this fitna not just in Philly. It's all over the country. I'm in Georgia, and it's here. But it all goes back to Philadelphia. The people that's down here, are people that was in Philadelphia that's getting marching orders from Philadelphia. Everywhere I've been where this fitna is, the person in charge is getting marching orders from Philadelphia. Hamza Durakzad was in D.C., made a mess of the place. Right? Well, what they do is it's a prison pipeline, brother. So people come right out of prison, they go right to these communities. And it's very easy to manipulate somebody you brainwashed. And to manipulate them into being on your side. And what you got to do is that you create an environment where people never step up. You create an environment where people okay with being on Section 8. People okay for never educating themselves. People okay with ever getting a high school diploma. People okay with never going to college. People okay with never getting a trade. Women are okay for just laying on her back and being a sperm receptacle, having baby after baby, and never establishing nothing for herself. And that's the reality. So when that type of environment, this type of cult mentality and extremism finds fertile ground in poverty and ignorance. It finds fertile ground there. The proof is they can't find that fertile ground in a lot of these communities here in Georgia because the people are educated, they own property, they have money, they have wealth. So you can't come in. The light bulbs are on. A roach is not coming out with the lights on. Exactly. That's right. When he came into D.C., he destroyed D.C. And wherever they go, you find separation. One masjid becomes three. The Salafis become three Salafis or two. And this is what they do. It's an agenda. And it's over them, though. It's an agenda greater than them. Over them. And a lot of these guys are having their strings pulled by the alphabet agencies. Believe me. Because anytime you don't want rectification, anytime you don't want unification, anytime you don't want to move forward and you want to keep on trying to suck a community dry and destroy a community, think about that. What is that? And also, we have to understand this. Look what they did to our women. The women in Philadelphia, they turned them into what? People now running halal prostitution rings. They call it marriage. That's what they want to call it. They want to call it marriage, but it's a halal prostitution ring. If you can use the word halal there. That's just real. It's a prostitution ring. Because the sister been married 25 times. When are we going to get sick of that? But they're the noble brothers. They transfer the honor of scholars onto themselves. You got to come get Salafiyah from us. And nobody's moving forward. Nobody's established anything. Okay? Our sisters still can't, when they don't have where to go, they still got to go to the Salvation Army. They still got to have their hands out. But you tell me that the kafir is my enemy. But guess what? He's taking care of your children. He's paying your rent. Yeah, 25 times, Zaki. 20 times, 15 times. Most of the brothers are married to the same sister in the masjid. It's real like that. This type of environment they've created. They've turned our women into loose women. In and out of Islam. In and out of their covering. They have created and made sin, legalized sin in our communities. By making statements saying stuff like this, sin is better than innovation. I'd rather see my son come out the house of ill repute than come out the house of an innovator, even though those statements are true. But those statements were made in a society that the sin wasn't widespread. That statement was made in an environment where those sins were not widespread. Those sins were not widespread. Okay? Those sins were not widespread. So that's just the reality. The point of it is to establish the problems in our community. That's the point of it. It's a great point of it. For people who don't live in Philadelphia, people who are not affected by it, then it's really not your issue to listen to it. But those brothers who grew up in these communities, who've seen this stuff happen, who've seen masses taken over with weapons and guns, right? Who women were raped and oppressed. And when they get pregnant, people paying them hush money. Dies and imams on our minbar. If you grew up in that type of environment, this talk is for you. If you haven't been affected by that, then this talk isn't for you. Because I'm sick of it. So, said the aim is to transfer the reputation of a recognized scholar to a person, idea, or a group. A plan of positive qualities commendation of an individual, the group, or an organization is sent out, which leads their readers to believe the person or group must be reputable due to the people that are correlated to it or otherwise support it. So, again, the aim is to transfer Sheikh Rabi', Sheikh Ubaid, Sheikh Muhammad ibn Hadi, and Sheikh Abdul Bukhari, to transfer their honor and transfer their reputation onto a group, an idea, or a place. That's what the whole thing is. That way they can do whatever they want as long as they say, oh, the scholars are with us. They can say whatever they want. And they're talking to an uneducated audience. And they're talking to an uneducated audience that's never going to figure it out until somebody tells them to figure it out. Alhamdulillah, this summer. No, we are doing a lot of solutions, brother. A lot of solutions are being done. Number one, the first solution is to expose it, which has been done and still being done. So you can't come up with a solution and give it to people if they don't know what you're talking about in the first place. That's number one. Number two, another solution that we're doing. We opened up a free Islamic library to get our people to start reading and understanding and learning. Number three, to show people that there are more scholars than just four. We've done that. Another thing, to open up centers, academic center, which is opening up in Philadelphia right now, Imam Muslim Center, academic center, which has never been opened in the 20 years of these guys' rule and oppression and tyrannical rule over us. Now what's happening? Another thing we're doing, group economics. Now people are starting to put their money together. Let's open up businesses. Let's start, because money and education causes social reform. We have a nice plan planned out. Alhamdulillah. And people are stepping up to the plate. So this is what we're going to do. So we have a plan. And just because you see me talking right now doesn't mean people don't have a plan. People have beautiful plans, and the plans are going forward. Alhamdulillah. So you say things are just kalam. No, you gotta speak about this stuff. Because for example, if you talk about the Khawarij, what's the plan about them? What's the plan about the Khawarij? That's kind of a weird question. If I speak about ISIS right now, what's my plan to stop ISIS? That means I don't say anything about them? The same way to stop ISIS, the same way to stop this extremism. Academics, education. Academics and wealth. People need academics. And people need not to be poor in their mentality and their wealth so they can have choices other than some extreme version of Salafiyya. Because that's the reality. When you speak about Ahlul Bid'ah, what's the plan for them? It's just kalam. No, so you got to start somewhere. So that issue is just kalam. I don't understand that. What do you mean it's just kalam? What do we do at this point? We got to expose it for what it is. Okay? If you don't think they're a problem, then don't think they're a problem. But they were a problem for me growing up. They were a problem for almost everybody on here. Because everybody on here's community has been ripped apart by this extremism. And that's just the reality. ISIS is less of a threat to me than these individuals. So, Sheikh Mohammed Bazmul stated, Salafi is not pestering scholars to receive praise from them and in turn run. Yeah, no problem, brother. Post it. And in turn run behind their praises. First and foremost, the Muslim is praised by way of one's knowledge and actions. The earth does not sanctify anyone. A person's lineage does not sanctify anyone. And criticizing a person does not sanctify anyone. So Sheikh Mohammed Bazmul, Hafizullah, he says, Salafi is not pestering a scholar. Not chasing behind scholars, trying to get them to praise you or say something nice about you. It's about your knowledge and your implementation of that knowledge. The earth does not sanctify you. Your lineage does not sanctify you. And you refuting someone doesn't sanctify you. Doesn't sanctify you. And Malik Muhammad, if you have a Facebook, you can post it to my Facebook account as well. Or you can send it through my messenger too. I would like to take a look at it. It says, another familiar example widespread on Twitter today. A Salafi publications and its cohorts post their visits to Sheikh Rabi', highlighting their affiliation and affection to this scholar. Illustrates towards them during the visit. Rather than focusing on the manners of Sheikh Rabi' himself with visitors, they don't do that. The travelers, they quote, we were the only ones allowed to visit. See how they do that? They make you believe that the Sheikh only loves them, that the Sheikh is only with them. The Sheikh took some time out of his busy schedule for us. Think about those statements, what they do to an individual who's reading. Oh man, those brothers good with Sheikh Rabi'. You understand what I'm saying? And the reality is that what they do is that a lot of the scholars that they put in front of us, if you go to their home countries, they don't have any fame or power. They don't have a masjid. They can't give fatwa, but they're able to give fatwa and give direction in our land and tell us what to do in our own countries, and they can't do that where they live. I mean, this is the game and they ran on us. The method here is to associate with other individuals or groups that already have high trust and credibility, display aspirations to similar ideals, and be seen with trustworthy people, name drop, quote them, and illustrate similarity to them. Sheikh Khalid Uthman Hafizullah stated that they say things such as, the scholar so-and-so said, our sheikh is the most knowledgeable in the country of such and such. When this information is verified for authenticity, it becomes quite lucid that this is a lie upon the scholar. Further example is they say Albani stood up, Sheikh Albani, from where he was sitting, and our sheikh sat in his place. This is evidence that our sheikh is his successor. When he is publicized as being similar to a known, respected person, he is encouraged. His audience is to categorize him in the same way, such that they will then attribute all the characteristics of other persons unto him, including trust. In closing, think about this. Somali. Does all these people that's praising him and trying to defend him, what's his real name? What's his real name? Where is he actually from? Do you know? Where did he actually study? And don't give me no myth about Sheikh Mukbil in Yemen. He was there because he wasn't there for a very long time. I mean, what books did he finish? What science did he finish? And I'm only saying this because he puts himself out there like he's the Talab al-Ilm and the link between us and the scholars, and he got all this knowledge and things like that. I'm asking, what's his real name? What sciences did he finish? And who gave him the right to run our communities and be as if he's some guardian over our Salafiyah? That's the question that I have. That's just real talk. Because what he did is, like all the rest of them do, they live off scholars. They live off scholars. And they don't tell you that some of those scholars don't even agree with them. But what they do is that you connect your name to a scholar. Hassan Malik did the same thing. He's going to keep living off Sheikh Mukbil. But y'all can keep eating it up. It's all sensationalism. It's all living through the honor of someone else. Honor by association. When you yourself hasn't done the work to be honorable. You haven't done the work to be upstanding. But you just use somebody else's name to create an environment around yourself that connects you to somebody who has done the work. It's just like on the streets. You know what I mean? You grow up in the hood or whatever the case may be. It's a couple guys down the way. The boy, he's known for just being a straight monster. He come through. He put his hands on people, put that work in. You, on the other hand, your people scared of you through association. Not that you make your own moves in the street, but the man you with, your cousin, your man, your homie, your brother, they made the moves. So this is what the people do. And this is how they do it. So, inshallah ta'ala, that's just what I wanted to touch on tonight. And again, for all those people who say, what is the reason behind this? There's a big reason behind this. And I'm going to say this. Since the summer of revolt against the code has begun, how many people have woken up? How many people have gone back to their parents who they disrespected and called them deviants, went back and apologized to their parents? How many people has left extremism? How many people, testimonies that we get in phone calls and emails that people have said, thank you, that my son has apologized to me. People come up, hug you, kiss you, because they were ignorant. They didn't know the other side of the story. So don't say that what's the point of this? Many people have woken up. Many people who were drones until the Paul Revere's of the Muslims stood up and said they had enough of these people in our lands oppressing us. This foreign occupation that has ripped our people apart, and we're just not going to stand for it anymore. No, we're not going to get off their necks. No, our feet not getting off the gas. Because guess what? Building academic centers is keeping our foot on the gas. We don't always have to say something about them. Uniting and being together. All of that stuff. We have to establish real wealth and real academics so our people can start learning principles, people. Principles. What makes somebody a deviant? Who has the right to place that ruling? Okay? What's edip? How do you apply mannerisms in society? All these things we need to be learning. But for 20 years, we were blinded by that thing. We were blinded away from those affairs. And the problem being is that they've connected Salafiyya to themselves and to their four scholars and to Salafi publications. And that now the people within that organization, the people, the cult members, everyday people, they believe their Salafiyya and their Islam is based upon those things. And it's not. Allah is going to base you on your actions and your application of the knowledge you learned. Salafiyya is called Allah. Allah said, His messenger said, and the understanding of the Sahaba and the Tabi'een at that Tabi'een and the implementation of that and what they had ijma' upon. That's Islam. Islam is what they agreed upon. And that's implementation of Islam. Not what Salafi publications agreed upon. Not what Somali agreed upon. Not what Masquerading Sunnah we agreed upon. They are not Salafiyya. They are not the Sunnah. The Sunnah is Allah said, His messenger said, and the the Sahaba and their students and the students of their students, what they agreed upon to be Islam. This is what you have to find, and this is what you have to implement. So go back and learn principles. Go back and sit back and find somebody that's teaching principles. Not going to twist them and not going to try to destroy you and make you hate everybody. Imagine that. I had a brother call from New Zealand, and he called Abu Aliyah and said, there's no way that your Islam can exist or keep growing in an environment of hate. Think about that. He said that all we learned is how to hate other Muslims. That's all they learned. He said, how can your Islam keep going and all you ever taught is that this person right here is your enemy? Think about that, y'all. That's all we ever been taught. Is that this person is my enemy. And it created an environment of mistrust amongst one another. I don't trust you. I don't know about you. We're stagnated. We're like water that's stagnated. We don't move forward. I don't trust you. I'm scared of you. I can walk past you and get a deviant bug. You sneeze, now I got a deviant sickness. This is the reality these guys have created for us. And we got to stop this stuff. Get back to learning principles of your religion. Salafiyya does not belong to them. Salafiyya does not belong to their scholars. Salafiyya doesn't belong to Salafi publications. Salafi because they don't belong to Somali. Salafiyya doesn't belong to any of them. Salafiyya is what Allah revealed. It belongs to mankind and those who Allah guide to it. And may Allah guide all of us to the correct understanding of the Sunnah and Salafiyya. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that anything that I've said that was wrong is from myself and shaitan. Anything that was true is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I ask Allah that everybody start putting things together. I'm making a call to the men right now before I get off. If we want to see change, brothers, start putting your money where your mouth is. Start getting together, so get some group economics together, gentlemen. Or you gonna keep looking at your women and children? How can you keep looking at your wife, lay next to her, and keep looking at her? You haven't established anything for her future. How you gonna keep looking at your children in the face every day and tell them you love them, but you haven't established anything for their future? We gonna keep depending on students to do it? You gonna put the brothers at Thamarat to do it with the Imam Muslim Center? Or you gonna get behind that project with your wealth and your time? Are you gonna depend on the Mekteba to do it? Or you gonna get behind the Mekteba and help that library to grow so everybody can benefit from it? What are we gonna do, brothers? Are we gonna start putting our money together, start buying up properties? And create a community that has wealth in it, like Black Wall Street was? If the non-Muslim can do it, how are we not doing it? I'm making a call to the brothers. When are you going to start stepping up? I'm making a call right now. I'm calling you out. Let's put our money where our mouth is. Let's get together. Some brothers sit down and talk. Get a bank account. Start putting some money in it. And you can make all the things you can. You can establish things the way nobody can take money out of it, except everybody takes money out of it, except everybody agrees. If you want to defeat this cult, you want to defeat this extremism, we got to do it together. We got to do it with wealth and academics. So what are we going to do, gentlemen? I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out. Let's go. Let's get it going. And y'all, some of y'all guys know my number. I'm willing to put whatever I got. I got a few dollars in my pocket. You want to start a bank account? Let's meet up somewhere. Let's start talking. Let's put some money in the account. Let's set it to where as though that way we ain't got to work. Shaitan don't whisper to us. Then nobody can take no money out the account. And not unless everybody's there signing that the money comes out the account. We can set it up like that. But let's start putting money together. Let's buy a piece of property. Let's buy this. Let's buy that. Let's get a school. Let's get behind you in Philly. Get behind them brothers at Thamarat. Get behind those brothers. Get behind those brothers. That free Islamic library. There's a free Islamic library in your city. Nobody going to get behind it. But then why are we complaining then? We're going to keep complaining about this coat. We're going to keep complaining about them. But yet still we're not doing anything to take care of it. After that lecture in AC, where's the movement? What are we going to do? Tired of hearing about the talking, gentlemen. I'm tired of hearing about it, man. The men got to step up. I know I'm tired. Listen, we got to step up. We got to start taking care of our affairs and doing what we got to do. This is sick. This is madness. I think 20 years, nothing. Gentlemen, it's time to step up. It's time to get it done. It's time to be men. Because if not, this thing will go on for another 20 years. Huh? So when brothers come out of prison, we ain't got to have a prison pipeline anymore. They come home from prison, they go into a program. They come home from prison, they got a job waiting for them. That's accountability. That's being accountable for our communities. Because these men, these guys, this cult, they're not going to be accountable for our women and children. And that's just the reality. So when we're going to stand up, because I can't, me personally, I can't keep looking at the face of my wife and I haven't established anything for her. I can't look at the face of my daughter and I haven't taken the time out to create an environment that a young man can come up in. That he's strong in his academics, and he's strong in his wealth, and he's strong in his social accountability, that I can marry my daughter to him. So who are we going to marry our daughters to, gentlemen? What are we going to do? It's time to step up. Why we don't have our own banks? All of us. There's a lot of us. You telling me we can't meet somewhere for the sake of Allah? And say, hey, I got $100, Akhi. Akhi, I got 50. Hey, I got 20. I don't care what it is. I got change, Akhi. And let's build something together. We should be ashamed of ourselves. That those brother Imam Muslim Center down there, if they haven't reached that money yet, and they haven't gotten what they need, and all those Muslim men in Philadelphia, we should be ashamed of ourselves. Shame on you, wallahi. Shame on you. Shame. Shame on you. It's a shame that a free Islamic library, the first one in the history of Philadelphia, is sitting in the middle of Kingston in a room. Been there for more than a year. We can't get nobody to come down here and financially help it or with your time. So where's the change going to come from? Where's the change going to come from? I'm tired of this coat. I'm tired of them. I'm tired of Salafi publications. I'm sick and tired of them. When are we going to get enough of them? And the only way we're going to get enough of them, we got to make them irrelevant. And how you make them irrelevant? With academics, wealth, so we can start changing our environment and say that we had enough of you. We had enough of your refutations. We had enough of your Haddadiyya. We had enough of your Hizbiyya. We got to be tired, gentlemen. The why the bastards always got to be in the ghetto. Answer that question. Why our dawah was always in the ghetto? As if nobody else deserves our dawah. You know why? Because we don't have no strength for nothing else. This thing is global. Let's make it global. So the Riyadh, wa alaikum salam barakatuh. As far as the Mektaba, I think it's 3095 Kingston Avenue, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. As far as the Imam Muslim Center, you can look up the Imam Muslim Center on Facebook account, and they give you how you can donate to those brothers. We have a website. It's called Mektab Ibn Taymiyyah. It's a website. You can go to the website, and you also can donate there. So that's how you donate. But brothers, What we going to do, gentlemen? I'm sorry I'm being a little long-winded, but I'm tired. I'm tired, man. We got to be tired, man. We got to be tired, man. The foreigners doing it up. I'm down here right now in Georgia. They doing it up. They doing it up, man. They got schools everywhere. They women going to Muslims to the hospital. We still taking our women to Dr. Floyd. Kensington Avenue, 3095 Kensington Avenue. But we have a website. Mekteba Ibn Taymiyyah has a website. So you type in mektebaibntaymiyyah.com or .net. And then you can go and donate. The Imam Muslim Family Center has a Facebook account. You can go on there, on their Facebook page, and you can see how you can help those brothers out. Because, brothers, we got to help each other out here. We got to start moving forward, man. You know what I'm saying? My kids need a future. I'm talking to myself, not just y'all. That's what I'm saying. Baltimore has vacant buildings. So does Philadelphia. So does Detroit. Why can't we all get together and start buying up these properties? We ain't got to live there. We ain't got to live there. I mean. And for you sisters, you older sisters and you older brothers who listening, why can't y'all start stepping up and start doing marriage workshops? You guys been married 20, 30, 40 years. We need you older brothers and you older sisters to step up and show these younger women, these younger brothers how to stay married. Using Islam, but also showing your life experiences. Because a community that doesn't stay married can't grow. You can't grow a community that can't stay married. I'll be back this weekend, inshallah. Back this weekend. So, inshallah ta'ala, man, I just want to stop there. I'm sorry that I got emotional at the end. But I'm telling you, brothers, right now, do something for me in closing. Do something in closing. Turn around and look at your wife. And look at your kids. And tell me, have you done enough for them? Tell me that you've done enough. Look at them and tell me, are you pleased with yourself as a man? Have you established anything for them? Are they able now to be Muslims in totality in America? Look around our communities and the dysfunction. Look at them. Turn around and look at your kids. Turn around and look at your children and look at them. Have you done enough as men? And when are we going to do enough as men? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.